Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We are so happy to see all your smiling faces. Welcome to the Karen and Hoyt Little Community Cat Complex. We're pleased to see you here. We are so pleased to be here this morning and so pleased to kick off this wonderful endeavor. It has been a journey this last year getting to this point. I am Laura Rice, and I serve as the Board of Directors Chairwoman of Alley Cat Advocates. And this morning, I would like to kick our event off by introducing to you Karen Little. Karen Little is our founder. We've been around for 20 years, almost 21 years, and it wouldn't have been possible without the hard work and dedication of Karen. Karen serves as both our founder and our executive director, and we're very excited to be here today to welcome you into this new facility, and we look forward to what the future holds. And I'd like to turn it over to Karen at this time.
Thank you again, everyone, for coming out today. Cold, dreary day, but we're in here and we're making history. Appreciate it very much. So our group was founded 21 years ago this month. My husband and I moved to Louisville in the 80s and to take a job here in Louisville. I was hired as a faculty member at the University of Louisville. And I had the good fortune of moving to Old Louisville, where I had the opportunity to walk to work. And that's a great thing in and of itself, except I kept finding stray cats. And literally, every time I walked to work, I would find another stray cat. So we took a few in. We had moved to town, normal people with just 2 cats. But we got up to 5, and I was starting to freak out. How am I going to make it to work and back without an additional cat? So we started placing the cats, as we did in traditional fashion, in people's homes. Friends, relatives. Our relatives were all in the Midwest, so I was driving cats to Nebraska and Iowa and Kansas, and realized after a point that this just was not going to be the solution. So Hoyt, my husband, and I traveled across the country to animal welfare organizations to see what other communities were doing about all these stray cats. And we discovered trap-neuter-return, the process of trapping a stray cat that's doing well outside, spaying and neutering it, vaccinating it, and then taking it back to its home rather than finding a home for it in another place, the traditional house where they might lay on the couch. And that was an eye-opening revelation to us. So we, with a few friends, decided that that's what we were going to do in this community. Low-key, volunteer group. Well, apparently we've hit a niche that was really needed in this community. So our first surgeries were in October of 2000. At this point, fast forward, we've done just about 50,000 cats in our community. And that's because people who had cats in their backyards or at their workplaces called us for assistance. They figured it out that they didn't want more cats either, but they loved the cats that they were watching out for. So currently we receive over 7,000 calls a year for assistance. And it's not only from those people that are feeding them and don't want more in their backyard. We also get calls from those people who don't want the cats at all in their backyard. And we completely understand, and we don't want those cats in their backyards either. So we work in neighborhoods to make sure that there's neighborhood harmony. The cats are well taken care of. Also the people in that neighborhood are well taken care of. And one statement I always make is, it's not the cats that are calling us for assistance, it's the people. They're wanting our type of help very much, and we're giving it to them. We've been very fortunate in this community to have supporters and volunteers and just a wonderful community of compassion to work in. So I fast forwarded already to today, where we're opening this wonderful facility. Now, under one roof, we will have the capacity to spay and neuter cats without transporting them to another facility, scaring the bejesus out of them, right? We'll also, for those very few, a small percentage of the cats come to us with extra medical needs. Maybe they need a wound cared for or a dental work done or some treatment for an upper respiratory infection. Those cats will now be able to be treated here without moving them to a private vet clinic for that care, without traumatizing them further by that transport, or even having them have to stay with us longer waiting for that appointment. Likewise, an even smaller number of those cats can't go back outside humanely. They really have not done well outside. Perhaps they're in renal disease, or maybe they're a diabetic, and those cats should not humanely be put back outside. So we also have under the roof of this building a facility to house them so that they can spend their final days, months, years with us, or because I know that there are so many compassionate people in this community, people will be able to come to Metro Animal Services, and if they express an interest in a special needs cat or a hospice type cat, they'll be able to come to this facility, sit in a great patio, which I hope you have a chance to look at this after this event, stay in our patio, sit with those cats, and decide that that's a challenge that they'd like to take on in their community. We could not have done this all under one roof if it hadn't been for the support, as I've already mentioned, of the citizens in this community, our donors, our volunteers, and those people taking care of the cats. But one of our largest supporters, I'm so honored to introduce now, is Mayor Greg Fisher. He is a person who can, in an elevator, tell a person riding in that elevator what trap-neuter-return is. And that is amazing. I am doubting that there are lots of mayors in the country who could do that. So thanks very much to Mayor Fisher, and thank you very much for being here.
Thank you, Karen. Oh, you don't know how happy this makes me on so many different levels. I mean, first, think about, it wasn't too long ago, we'd be driving down to Manslick, okay? So now when you think about coming through here and just like the radical transformation that's taken place. And then think about what we've been able to do with Karen and Alley Cat Advocates here. When I became mayor, I didn't know about trap-neuter-return. I had the TNR. I didn't know about any of these things going on. But what I knew was we had a heck of a problem at our animal shelter, a really serious problem. So this has been an amazing journey of learning for me over these last 9 years to really get us to this point where we're at today, which I think is very safe to say is a national best practice for the work being done in this area. So it just makes me really proud of people like Karen that have just been extraordinary citizens that have given their heart and their mind and never gave up. And just to see us to get through to a day like today and for you to be honored like this is just so just. It's just what should happen in a city that's made up of great citizens like you. So you're really tremendous. I really appreciate you. I'm going to brag more about you, but that's incredible. I want to recognize Pat Mulvihill. He's going to say a few words at the end. He's our great congressman from. No, that's what you could. I could see that very easily here. But he's our great councilman from this area, so we appreciate that. You're going to be hearing from Ozzie Gibson as well. But I wanted to introduce Amy Hess over here. Amy is our chief for public services. She's been employed by the city of Louisville for 10 or 11 days now. But she's got an extraordinary history of public service to the United States of America. She's from this area, so we're fortunate to lure her back home. And as her last job, she was the #1 female for the FBI, Federal Bureau of Investigation in Washington. So we're just really pleased to have her come home and join Metro government. So Amy, welcome. Well, as I said, the transformation of our LMAS team, what they have created over these past several years has just been stunning and one of its kind in the entire country. When I first became mayor in 2011 and I rolled down Manslick and saw the facilities that we were in, I was like, my goodness, we have got a challenge here. And the numbers showed that. Our live release rate then was about 40%. We had all types of compassion fatigue with our employees that worked at the shelter. I mean, These are folks that are called to this work, that have a special bond with animals. And when you only have a live release rate of 40%, and these folks are doing their best to keep these animals alive and get them adopted in the community and not get the kind of support that they needed to do it, it was very, very, very difficult on our employees, much less the animals of the community as well. So it was a real challenge that we had to deal with back then. And so we only would have been able to pull out of that hole if we had great community partners. And one of the greatest partnerships we had from the very beginning there was what was going to become the beginning of this journey that has led us today with Karen Little and Alley Cat Advocates. And when I met Karen, amidst all of this controversy that we were having, all these challenges that we had, she gave me hope. She gave me a view of what's possible and what solutions are out there if you follow the science and you just keep at it day after day with determination and creating a community of people that care. So she, in so many ways, has been the inspiration for this entire campus here of what's been done. They're celebrating 21 years of service to our community. And I knew that we were going to do better. I didn't quite know how. I didn't know what I was going to learn along the way, but I knew that we could do it because we had a great team at LMAS and certainly had great conviction on behalf of the community as well. So the work of Alley Cat Advocates, people oftentimes think about the cats and kittens here, but really their work serves the entire community by helping to stabilize our cat population. It is super compassionate work, and it's also saved our city a lot of money along the way in upkeep and maintenance costs and kind of nuisance costs as well. And their work has helped us make changes in the progress that we needed to make as a community as well, bringing attention to the animal welfare needs in our community that has led to the fantastic construction of the Harshaw Family Foundation Animal Shelter right across the street, which we just opened this past October. It also helped us to improve the partnerships that we had with organizations like the Kentucky Humane Society, if they're here, shout out to the Humane Society, and others, because it takes a team effort to increase your live release rate from 40% to where we're at today. And that's over 90% for dogs and cats in our community, which is incredible progress, an extraordinarily difficult thing to do, and we are the talk of the country relative to our journey of achieving no-kill status today. And we hit that mark in 2017, and we've maintained it ever since. So opening this cat complex right here in the catio, I forgot about that. You always have all these little funny words. Will make it even easier to care for our animals here in our community. So I just want to really thank everybody. I want to thank our extraordinary team here at LMAS that has been through so much, and we're now in such a good place. We could not have done this without our LMAS team. I want to thank Ozzie Gibson over here, who came in to lead LMAS several years ago, and he's an extraordinary citizen as well. So Ozzie, for those of y'all that don't know it, was in Car 2 of LMPD, so second in command of Louisville Metro Police Department. He retired. Like many young people, he wasn't very successful at retiring, and he said, "Does the city need any help?" And I said to Ellen Heston, our deputy mayor, I said, "Well, let's see if he wants to run the animal shelter." He says, "I don't know anything about it, but I know how to manage, and I know how to build teams, and I know process, so if that's where the city needs me, that's where I'm going to go." And Ozzie, you've just done an incredible job here, so I really appreciate you. And again, to all of our team members here, I want to say thank you. I want to thank organizations like PetSmart Charities, a national group that is helping us here locally in many other cities. Patty Swope, I don't know if Patty is here or not. She stepped up individually in a big way to help us here. She's a well-known, passionate, and devoted lover of animals here in our community, so thank you, Patty. And I want to thank everybody whose generous contributions have made this a reality here in our community. So Alley Cat Advocates has received national recognition. It is a model for animal welfare organizations around the country with a move, even before this, but especially with the move in into this building. So that's why it's my honor as mayor to officially welcome the neighborhood, the Karen and Hoyt Little Community Cat Complex. It's a super exciting day for our community, and I would like to mark that, Karen, by giving you not to your surprise, a proclamation. It's kind of like what I do. Part of what I do anyway. But this is the city of Louisville honoring alley cat advocates on your all's opening here, and we really congratulate you all and just celebrate the 21 years of incredible work that you've done. You're amazing. Thank you. So much. Pat, why don't you come up and say a few words? Please welcome Pat Mulvihill.
Thank you, Mayor. And I, too, have sort of lived this, I guess, somewhat of a roller coaster with the mayor. I was on his staff in 2011 when things were sort of bleak. But it's been awesome to get to come here now to this campus over the last few years and just see the great transformation. And I was proud, along with Brandon Cohn, to get to sponsor the resolution that named this building for you and Hoyt, and it's a job well deserved. But in Metro government, we can't do anything simple, so you do have to go through a lot of steps to get a building named. And actually, I think, Ozzie, we worked on this maybe about a year, because we ran into some issues, and we even had to change an ordinance to do this. But thankfully, we were able to do this. It's a great facility. I'm proud to have this in District 10. I hope I get to keep coming back out here for more grand openings. It seems like every year it's always a little bit cold, chilly, but we're getting new and beautiful assets. So I want to thank everybody who was able to make this possible, especially Karen and Hoyt, certainly the Wizard of Oz and his team, Mayor, you and your staff when I was on it and when I wasn't on it. So, and the council is just thrilled to be a part of this as well. Thank you so much.
I'd like to thank Mayor Fisher. Mayor Fisher, this certainly would not have been possible without your support and the city's support. I'd also like to thank Councilman Mulvihill. It finally feels like we live in a community where animals are not second-class citizens, and it wouldn't have been possible without your all's help. So thank you so much for your support. And at this time, I would like to introduce Ozzie Gibson. Ozzie Gibson is the director of Louisville Metro Animal Services, and Ozzie has been a great support for our organization at this very, very critical time in our history. So, Ozzie?
All right. Worst thing about following everybody up is your speech. You might as well just tuck it away. Karen, wouldn't you say there's been a lot of pajesus along the way to get here? So that's a good word I'm going to start using. Pajesus. Karen's modest. So what a lot of people, if you don't know, she travels all over the country talking about community cats. She has helped so many other counties in Kentucky. I believe Mike McNutt's here from Hardin County. I know she's working with the community cat program there. So she has not just done stuff in Jefferson County. She goes everywhere to preach this and try to get other folks to do it. So I just want to really thank everybody. I call them the Alley Cat Army because it's an incredible organization, and she has done this when she started this, there was no money given to her. She went out and done all of this. And I'm sure Hoyt appreciates it, so I give him my thanks because I'm sure he's had to put up with a lot. And this was a community project that she recognized the problem, worked with Metro Council and a whole bunch of other people, and look where we're at today. There again, what she won't tell you, nobody else in the country has this. This doesn't exist anywhere. What she's done here and with our new animal campus here, there's nobody in the country that can stand up and say, look what we're doing. So many times, Karen and I probably talked to each other off the ledge the last few years. And I just want to thank her from a personal point of being a true loyal friend to me when I came in and didn't know bejesus about animal sheltering. And I thank you so much for being able to bounce stuff off of you, and we continue where we're at today. And when her and I started talking about how do we never go back to where we were 10 and 20 years ago, we talked about how do we sustain what we do at LMAS and what she does. And that's how we came up with this building here on this campus, so that no matter what happens, there's an opportunity for the community cats. So with that, that's all I have.
Thank you so much, Ozzy. Ozzy has really been a very true and loyal supporter. I cannot tell you how much work has gone into getting to this point, and Ozzy has been just a huge, huge support to our organization, and we couldn't have done it without you, Ozzy. Thank you so much. Without further ado, we're going to get this ribbon cutting underway. So if Tim is back there somewhere, Tim, oh, there you are. If you all could bring our ribbon and our scissors.
Lower this a little bit. Okay, now this is called a, hold on. This is called a fake cut here. So put your picture. Oh, no. We need a good picture here. So everybody put your, and then everybody look forward and smile. Now,